Hi, everybody. Dr. Laura Dabney here, talking about relationship betrayal this month because I ran a betrayal video a while back and it was about emotional cheating. You all had a lot to say about this. It was very popular, so I thought maybe this is worthy of a longer discussion. So I'm going to do 3 more videos on this topic. One is on the pre-betrayal landscape. One is on what happens if you're in the midst of a betrayal, and one on the post-betrayal landscape in your relationship. Okay, let's get right to the pre-betrayal landscape. What does your relationship look like before a betrayal? So while everybody who comes to me in the midst of a betrayal, of course, they're unique. Every situation is unique. But what I've noticed is that the pre-betrayal relationship dynamics are almost exactly the same. So what is that I'm seeing? Because if you can understand that, then you can hopefully prevent a betrayal in your relationship. So those things are a lack of seeing the relationship as needing nurturing, the inability to talk about negative emotions, and not seeing the risk of separation. All right, so first things first, let's talk about the not seeing the relationship as an entity to be nurtured. This is so incredibly common. People start a relationship and they're like, okay, we're in a relationship. The relationship, I like to think of it as almost like a child. You and your partner have created an entity. And what entity grows and develops and thrives without nurturing? Attention, time, consideration? None. So it's true with your relationship as well. You need, as a couple, protected time, priority time. That's what rises your relationship with your partner up above all your other relationships. You have a scheduled time every week, twice a week, whatever it is that you know you can rely on seeing your partner during that time. Date nights is an example of this, but so many people are like, well, I can't get a sitter or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a date night. It doesn't have to even be outside the house. You can have coffee in bed every Sunday, dessert after dinner when the kids are in bed every night. Some regular time where you are with your partner and nobody else. Okay, phones are off, you're just with each other. Whether you can watch a movie or something, not you have to sit there and say nothing, there's nothing to say. But if there's something to say, you have that time. Okay, that's nurturing the relationship. Talking about negative emotions, this is number 2. So many people think that if we say something negative, then something negative is going to happen. If I don't say anything negative, then nothing negative will happen. This is completely, not only is it wrong, it's the opposite. If we don't talk about our negative emotions in a relationship, they implode or explode. And if any of you have watched my videos, you know these negative emotions tend to be neediness, sadness, and anger. If you're uncomfortable talking about these or listening to your partner talk about these, please try to work this out, because you have to, not only do you get it off your chest when you are able to say that something's frustrating you, making you sad, or you need something, your partner gets to understand you. Yes, it's not fun to talk about a negative emotion. You could surprise your partner could be upset about it, but you have to think in the long run, they're learning something about you, right? And you're keeping this emotion from being bottled up and exploding. So you're doing the relationship a favor. You're doing yourself a favor to talk about this, okay? So try to talk about your negative emotions as much as you can. Lastly, a lot of you out there minimize the risk of separation. Physical separation in a relationship, it may sound obvious to some of you, but a lot of you don't realize that physical separation is a separation. And separation doesn't bring you closer together. Okay, so this kind of culture of, yeah, you go out with your girlfriends and I'll go out with my guy friends. And then people come to me and they're like, how do we grow apart? Well, because you weren't together. I'm not saying you can never go out with other people, okay? But you have to make sure the first 2 things we just talked about are in place. That you're nurturing the relationship, all the negative emotions are aired, you're in a good space, and you both have to agree. Are we in a good space? Yes. Okay, let's take this night to go out with other people. Okay, very, very important. Physical separation is not conducive to a great relationship. Okay, so if you can see the relationship as something to be nurtured, if you can talk about your negative emotions, and if you can understand the risk of separation, you decrease the chances enormously that you will experience betrayal in your relationship. Okay, I'll see you next week when we'll talk about what do you do if you're in the midst of a betrayal in your relationship. Okay, see you then.